Welcome back to the International. We're in the final, what could be, the final game of the final match. Mouse Sports are leading 1-0 over QPAD Red Pandas. We got both teams. They look ready. We're going to be starting in about just a few seconds, actually. But before we do, let's take a look at some of the statistics that Bruno has for us here.
Yes, and we're going to talk about team statistics, and in this case, we're going to look at Mouse Sports. What can we say about their best and worst heroes? Chen, one of the heroes that hasn't been picked so far, I think only once in the tournament, maybe twice. One hero that should be very respected because of their ability to push, and Mouse can use it to their full potential. Maybe we'll get to see it, maybe not. We have to wait. And what they aren't good against, the worst heroes are Lina, Venomancer, and Anti-Mage. Surprising to see the Anti-Mage right there, because one would expect Black to actually be good at that hero.
I'm really surprised to see it, because Black usually loves to play a hero, but I mean, they haven't really picked it too much lately, though, when they've actually changed up the roster. So
I'm guessing it's one of the... I mean, remember, this is only the last 3 months Black used to play.
Still surprising, though.
Yeah, it's still surprising. And the heroes that we have best against and worst against, they're really good against Luna, and it showed. Maybe Sing Sing should play Dragon Knight instead.
Could be good.
Could be good. Yeah. Anyways, back to you guys.
One of the most casual stats you've ever done there, Bruno.
It felt good, though, you know? It was
right.
It wasn't so tense. Like, we got this guy getting like 704 GPM, and he's got like the best CS at 2 minutes into the game. That was more like it matched your shirt.
It matches my shirt.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt.
Thank you.
I couldn't pull that off. But regardless, like James said, we're getting into game number 2 here. QPAD Red Pandas taking on Mouse Sports. This is it. This is it.
It's everything, It's everything for both teams, because Mouse Sports are 1 win away from playoffs. QPADs are 1 loss away from being knocked out. It's everything to both of them. They both have a kind of match point scenario to deciding where this could go. And obviously, QPAD's match point, unfortunately, is them being knocked out of the tournament, but they're going to want to tie it up. Mouse Sports, though, let's talk about the bans. They're going to take out Wisp. QPAD Red Pandas are going to take out the Lone Druid, and we're back to Mouse Sports, and they're going to get first pick and the dire side. But let's just go back to the last game as we let this unfold. What didn't you like about what QPAD did? I mean, we focus on Mouse Sports. They did great. They laned well. It looked like they were going to have an offensive tri-lane. It was defensive. They caught a kill off because of it, maybe. But what didn't you like about what QPAD did?
So for me, their draft was actually okay. I didn't feel like the draft is where things really went south. The laning phase for me is what didn't really make a whole lot of sense. You heard Scripps say that maybe QPAD were expecting an aggressive tri-lane. Okay, that's respectable. That's why they put the Clockwork in that lane, and that's why they wanted to try to get something done. But still, the Clockwork farming in that tri-lane, you kind of have to wonder what's really the purpose. Even if you send the Luna up there, she's still going to be able to get something done, and you have a Rubik and a Jakiro to try to back it up. So that was really not ideal. And then as soon as Mouse see the opening, that Sing is sitting mid on a Luna for the first couple of minutes of the game, it wasn't really so much that they were playing super aggressive, it's just they saw an opening. They're like, we can really easily kill this because we have Fata to follow it up. So they get a quick kill on him. Wagamama gives away the kill at the beginning of the game, which was, like you had mentioned, it's a little bit awkward to see him do something like that. And it just never really seemed to go back QPAD's way.
All right, well, we'll see how they handle this situation, because you can see Mouse Sports' first pick, Lifestealer, a hero that they definitely enjoy playing and play fantastically. QPAD Red Pandas, though, are going to pick up the supports they had last game when they played IC Cup, but were played by Mouse Sports also last game, which is the Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon. But with that Lone Druid banned out and the Lifestealer, they won't be able to put any real carry of choice into the lane, into the jungle, that they could actually do that Nyx Assassin tactic where they farm, and Mouse Sports are going to pick up the Nature's Prophet. So there's a free kind of way around the map for the Lifestealer already with the Nature's Prophet, great pickup, and Rubik's going to be picked up as well to be played alongside the Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet. Mouse Sports have finished their first 3. What do you think of it?
Nature's Prophet for me always works. Fantastic from ability, like you were mentioning. The Infest is going to be great just for being able to start fights. That's something that Maus actually are starting to do more and more now because of the fact that they're getting more comfortable with the new roster. They've been with the same 5 players for some time now, so when you start to get more confident, you can start getting away with running these drafts where you're like, okay, if we see spots, we can just go. And we saw that Cinderin, especially last game playing on that Nyx Assassin, he was finding the openings, of course, with Pos, and they were just scoring these kills really early on. So if they want to use this kind of a style, power to him. So now, for the QPAD Red Pandas, they get the two supports that you said Miles was using in the last game, and you said that you think that Cupid actually used these supports better. So,
not last game.
Well,
obviously not last game because they didn't have him, but
right.
Mouse Sports played him pretty damn well. But
Yeah.
it was also because of how the lanes were. They probably shouldn't have got that kill on Wagner. And Cupid Red Pandas are going to pick a third pick anti-mage.
So risky, man. That is incredibly risky. This early, the one reason why I can see them doing it is because you see a Prophet and you see a Rubik and you think, no real burst, you know? It's really hard to actually take the anti-mage down in the early stages. He might have a pretty good amount of room to work, but at the same time, we haven't seen what mid Mouse Sports is actually going to pick, and you're against a Lifestealer. And everyone knows that mid-game, you can't really fight a Lifestealer as an anti-mage just because of how the hero builds fold out. Lifestealer goes for the treads or phase boots into drums and armlet typically, which are all mid-game oriented items. The anti-mage just goes into a Battle Fury. So it's like, well, I have no health. I can't really exchange. This to me says that the Cupid have actually taken a step back, and they're like, we kind of want to take this a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it also means as well, they do put that Nature's Prophet onto the off lane. Anti-mage is a real pain to handle. As soon as you hit level 2, if you just get 1 point into Blink and also Mana Break, it's just a very annoying lane to be in, which means he could get that lane all to himself, which does allow Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon to roam around a little bit more and focus on the mid. So I'm expecting Cupid Red Pandas, they've already banned out a mid hero here, and this is where I think they should focus. It's going to be a slog. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Puck banned out as well.
Fata's Puck last game was amazing, so yeah, I'm totally on the same page with you there. You know what we haven't seen a whole lot of this tournament, now that I think about it, while we're on the subject of mids, is Queen of Pain. It's just like, we saw one Queen of Pain, I think, and it was actually Cupid themselves who ran it, and it was Sing's Queen of Pain, and he played great that game too. It just, unfortunately, they couldn't really seal the deal. So for me, it's like, Queen of Pain in a lot of these lineups still works great. If you look at the side of Mouse Sports, it's a great damage dealer. Another great person to actually infest inside of if you're the Lifestealer. To get inside, get the Scream of Pain off, the infest damage, just burst. Try to take somebody down extremely quick. But it is a bit dangerous because late game, Mana Void is really troublesome against heroes like Queen of Pain. But Puck would also suffer from the same problems.
Yeah, and Mouse Sports is just focused right now in terms of what off lanes do we not want to go against. Clockwork, great ban out. Also, the Darkseer there would work well with the team. You have a Nyx Assassin. If you can get a good vacuum into an Impel, it's very devastating. Shadow Demon also combos pretty okay, but those two banned out is really good, and Mouse Sports are going to remove another offlaner, which is going to be the Weaver. So I feel that Mouse Sports know where they need to focus on to stop Cupid Red Pandas from having a great game. Their bans have been particularly good. Cupid Red Pandas, they seem a bit worried. They're like, oh, we've seen Windrunner. Maybe, you know, we don't want that really in the tri-lane. We don't want to go up against a Slark because it's going to be hard to lock down, and also we have to spend a lot of money to do so on sentries. And so they're just focusing on mid and are actually going to take away the TA. And we have seen Facet play the TA mid. So they have left the Puck and the Queen of Pain, but maybe they don't feel so concerned about that with the anti-mage and also having a SD to back up the big team fights, which can be so helpful, even on just, you know, having your, two more anti-mages illusions out, but also stop some burst damage on him, save him. When he comes back out, he can just be so strong. So I personally prefer Mouse Sports in terms of how they've done this so far, and I'd give them a slight edge.
I agree, 100%. Like, if you look at Mouse, you're like, they can do so much still with their lanes, where you see Cupid Red Pandas, you're like, the Shadow Demon and the Nyx, ideally, they do want to roam. You're not going to see many aggressive anti-mage tri-lanes, especially with these heroes. So, Mouse Sports, they pick up a Keeper of the Light. Now, the name of the game is pretty much lane control, being able to split push, being able to pull that Lifestealer wherever he needs to be. You could teleport him to a lane with Prophet, he can infest out, then you could summon him back to the other side of the map with the Keeper of the Light, and he can be anywhere, really. So, you have a fantastic support in Rubik. He's going to be able to steal Blink, which I think is always important to remember because Shikuchi and Blink, it's like, those are two of the, spells Rubik loves. Just being able to get those initiations. And
you're
being
always going to get Blink, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're always going to be able to get Blink, so that Rubik could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where Cupid are going to go with this. They need something. They need something decent, and I feel like they need a hero that's going to have an impact almost as high as the anti-mage in terms of the mid game. And Keeper of the Light, that blind on anti-mage is a real pain.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where most of the damage is going to come from. You need that anti-mage hitting to kill any of these targets, because you just can't, if you can't kill off the supports quick enough, if you're Cupid Red Pandas, that Lifestealer is going to eat your team, literally. So it's a tough time for this anti-mage already. That's a very good pickup. I like this a lot. The Night Stalker said I wanted something a little bit tanky, something that could get involved. Even if you want to go a BKB on this pickup, it's a good pickup.
The Night Stalker is great just because he's the hero who can lead the charge. Silence is fantastic against Mouseport's lineup so far. You get a 5-second silence on a Lifestealer, you can just kill him. Because Rage is where most of the survivability of that hero comes from, of course, until he manages to secure those first core items like the Armlet, the Treads, or Phase, whichever you want to go for, and then, of course, those drums. So I do like that choice quite a bit, but it puts a lot of emphasis on how much room these three heroes, the Shadow Demon, the Nyx, the Night Stalker, can actually make for this Anti-Mage, because at some point, Anti-Mage is going to have to start contributing, and other than just split pushing, right? He's going to have to start fighting. So you want to do it probably at around 22 to 25 minutes. Those are the average timings to have the Battle Theory and the Manta done. I think that's about the window that QPAD are going to start saying, okay, we feel confident, let's try to do some 5-man.
So Mousesports have a great chance to pick now because they have their mid hero. What do they want to go up against a Night Stalker? And they have so many choices here. Night Stalker, if they do the early bottle again and just being able to try and get the, just spam Void to get the creeps, that's great. But it's actually going to be a Beastmaster. Great team fighting hero. Adds a lot of attack speed as well. So what do you make of the pickup? As QPAD Red Pandas are still looking for their offlane and they lack a lot of options.
Well, Beastmaster against the lineup of QPAD, we were just mentioning how important it would be for these three heroes on the side of QPAD, outside of the Anti-Mage, to have an impact. It's like, well, now you're going to be trying to find ganks against a Beastmaster Hawk and potentially a whole lot of sentries. So it's like, that's going to be a little bit more difficult to find what you're actually looking for, and Keeper of the Light's always going to be on the back lines. And let's also not forget Beastmaster Airlines. You can infest into the Hawk if you're Lifestealer. So it's just a cool thing you can do. Not saying they're going to utilize it in this game, but it's just so many things that he can just get in. He can get into Treants, he can get into the Hawk, the Boar, he can get teleported across the map any which way from Sunday. Like, we were talking about how Black likes to play more aggressive now. Well, he's been given the team to do so, and QPAD, they're picking the Treant. So we were talking about lack and choice of offlaners. This pick, for me, it allows the Night Stalker to be that much more aggressive during
I think
the
they
game.
needed it as well. Just that Beastmaster Roar is a great way to shut down and hold in place an Anti-Mage, and especially a Night Stalker that really needs to just be like, charge!
Yeah.
And then he goes into fights. And that Beastmaster was a really good counter that's been picked up by Fata. So was that a lack of options, the Treant? Or was it what they wanted? I'm not sure. We'll see how this plays out, but let's introduce the teams as we go into what could be the final game of Group B. And of course, remember, we're here for another 3 days after today with the playoffs and also the grand finals. From left to right on the QPAD Red Pandas team, we've got Sing Sing playing the Anti-Mage, heading towards the safe lane. Nyx Assassin, played by Mini, also on the safe lane. Mid, going to be played by Select on the Night Stalker. Wagamama, going to be playing the Treant Protector. Potentially going off lane. He's actually picked up a Quelling Blade. Might just go punch some stuff. Which, yeah, okay, he's going jungle. And last is going to be Jarex on the Shadow Demon.
And then, of course, on the side of Mao's Keeper of the Light, he's going to be played by Cinderin. We're going to have Fata being played by Beastmaster. Black going to be playing on that Lifestealer. Trailing a little bit behind here is Quakefa. He's going to be playing the Nature's Prophet. And then finally, Pos is going to be playing on the Rubik. So, by the looks of things, Mao's, they're trying to find somebody at level 1, and this is going to be an aggressive tri-lane, it looks like, because they've just dropped a ward inside of the jungle. Interesting choice, but at the same time, if you look at the lineup right now, this defensive tri-lane coming out from QPAD, it's going to be hard for them to engage, especially if the Lifestealer is the one on the front lines.
Yeah, it will be. Just having a little bit of lifesteal early on in terms of Feast does actually make a nice difference, but he has to be careful about how much mana he's going to be able to retain to Rage. Rage is a relatively low cost though, it's 75, but it's still pretty high if you consider actually Lifestealer has a pretty low mana pool to start with. So an offensive tri-lane, we don't normally see Mousesports do an offensive tri-lane at all. They're not a team that comes out with an offensive tri-lane, so they must feel very confident here that they can make something happen. Invisibility on Black, we'll see if he's going to start with an open wounds, but both Jarex and Mini are making sure the creep wave is as close to the tower as possible. This could be dangerous.
I don't think they can even go on saying they might. Yeah, he's just going to come out and just start going for the CS, but also have to remember in this bottom lane, Mouse is going to be able to abuse chakra spam. So whenever they want to engage, whenever they want to apply some pressure, it's going to be really easy for them to do so. And let's also keep in mind that Keeper of the Light, amazing hero at contesting the pole. You don't even have to put yourself in danger. You can sit so far away and just illuminate spam, of course, if they manage to deward that camp, which it's still warded for the moment. And we're starting to see that living armor coming out onto Sing. Going to be spammed pretty much nonstop by that Treant. But this lane is going to be pretty darn important for both sides. I don't think there's any denying that.
Losing this tri-lane could mean losing this game. We really have to emphasize that. In mid, Select's going to take some damage from the tower and just going to have to back off. He's almost finished his bottle. Fata, on the other side of things, has finished his bottle if he wants to pick it up, and he does do so. So we'll leave him here for the moment and focus on bottom lane. Sing has been getting some armor, living armor from Wagamama. He's having to use it on himself now because he's actually getting harassed pretty heavily by Qualifier on the Nature's Prophet, but with a Quelling Blade, and he's also picked up a Stout Shield, he should be able to get these last hits pretty easily, despite being pretty far behind. 4-0 against a 9-2, and he's got a last hit under the tower, but that's never really a problem for a Treant Protector, just because of how much damage he does.
88 base damage and a Quelling Blade? Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine, even under the tower. And the one nice thing you can do whenever you're playing this particular hero, like Treant Protector, is amazing at helping out the tri-lane. We talk about the influence of heroes like Nature's Prophet all the time and saying he can just teleport down, maybe add another hero to a gank, but even at level 3, Treant armor gives you 40 damage reduction per hit. I mean, that's almost an entire auto attack, and it's not even just from auto attacks, it's also magic damage sources now too.
Oh, disruption being thrown out on Paz up top. Blink, Sing's actually going to blink in, and he is going to illuminate. Now he's going to be slowed by open wounds. He's got 5 seconds until he can blink again, but there comes a living armor as the Rubik goes down to first blood in favor of Cupad. Impel up in just a few seconds. Is Mini going to reach for it? He's going to go. Sing's going to go in as well, and it's a double kill for Cupad Red Pandas. And that Treant Protector, God Black, is just watching this game right now, and he's stroking his beard going, yes, my Padawans.
He has a
you have
monocle
learned
on too.
Well.
As a really, really obnoxious hero to lane against, it's because of how little damage you can actually put out on heroes that you're trying to focus down. So I'm a little bit confused as to why Paz waited so long to even try to use his telekinesis, and of all people to use it on, he used it on the Animage, who hadn't even used Blink up until that point. So I still think he actually could have gotten away from that, but 2 kills going on the board in favor of Cupad. That is like the absolute 100% perfect start.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Mouse Sports, they had their start. Cupad, you can say, had hit their start in game number 2. But we'll see. Mouse Sports are a great team in terms of being able to recover and still play the best out of just a bad situation. But we'll see what they can do, basically. But talking about some items, Sing's actually gone for a poor man's shield just to mitigate as much damage as possible, having to last hit in the front lines versus the offensive tri-lane. And we do have a rotation for Mini and Jerex. They are heading towards middle. Mini just backing off for a split second, and Fata, he's actually walking high ground here. And Void comes out, and this will be a dead Fata. So it looks like it's going to go 3-0. And Jerex will get the kill. So, and Sing, all the meanwhile, has been pretty safe on the bottom lane with the armor. And also to talk about Wagga, he's still pretty far behind in terms of last hits. Tower's taken not so much damage. He will be able to heal that up as well a little bit later. But he's doing okay. But Qualifier is actually playing great on that Nature's Prophet in terms of last hits and just controlling the lane what he wants. And he could be potentially very dangerous in the next few minutes because he could teleport in and be involved in some of the fights on the tri-lane.
Well, the thing about Mouse right now is that they only have one winning lane. Mid is pretty much, it's not losing that hard, but that one kill does make a pretty big difference, of course, because Night Stalker now almost level 6. Fata has actually remained pretty consistent in overall experience, actually. That's a bit surprising, but top lane is the only winning lane for Mouse, so this Nature's Prophet is going to have an impact. He doesn't have a choice. He's going to have to go for some early aggression items. Maybe he wants to go for a Medallion, or maybe he wants to try to go for the late game and go Midas, but I think that's honestly pretty risky when you're playing against an Animage who, up until this point, hasn't had spectacular farm, but his lane is definitely doing very, very well. In middle, we're actually going to see a solo kill as Fata. He manages to dive onto Select, and honestly, even with a Treant and an Invis in his bottle, he ends up going down.
Yeah, I have no words.
Bottom lane, Cinderin going to be stuck here by the disruption. Illuminate does make contact. Sing taking quite a bit of damage. Could be a turnaround. Jerax getting quite low on HP. They will end up securing the kill on Cinderin, but Jerax, he is going to lose that killing spree. Paz, he's trying to get back to his tier 1 tower right now. Mini unfortunately not able to do quite enough damage. Select, he's got the invis still. He wants to try to dive onto the tower, but the TP, again, by Select, might have been a little bit of wasted time. Mao's playing this incredibly passive. They want no part of this bottom lane at the moment.
Yeah, Wagger as well up top has actually used Leech Seed. Just want to point this out. He's used Leech Seed onto Qualifier to try and get some life back, and Qualifier actually just kited him off, so he wasted a lot of mana. He's actually picked up his Arcane Boot, so that's his first item of choice, and he is going to be trying to heal up his tower and just keep that as live as long as possible so he can control the lane the best he can. And yeah, that mid kill, not sure how it went down. I didn't expect to see that. I thought nothing would come of mid. These are two very tanky heroes, and so I didn't think anyone would die unless they had a support come help him out. And Select did drop, but he is back into his lane farming after the invisibility room. And Mini and Sing have been sent back to their well, and Black's going to be very happy with this. He's a bit under-leveled compared to Sing, level 4.5, and he's going to be picking up some well-needed farm and levels while Sing has disappeared. And there's a rotation top. Jerax is looking to get a kill on Quaver. He's picked up a Phase Boot, Quaver, and also a Ring of Ballis. They're actually looking to pick him up behind the tower, but well done by Quaver. Going to be able to predict what was happening, as he actually does have pretty decent... Oh, he didn't actually have a ward over the rune, but...
No, he's just got Spider Sense. I mean, that was actually ridiculously good awareness by him. Just being... Like, making those treants at that point in time, in that spot, like, he knew something was coming. So he's just like, I'm going to give myself a little bit of vision. Oh, look, suddenly a wild Jerax has appeared, and I'm going to be fine for the moment. So, Mouse, we're looking at the experience for a minute, we're looking at the CS, and we're thinking to ourselves, they got 2 kills bottom on Q-Pad, and they get the first blood. But the AM is still not farming more than Black is farming, and the other 2 heroes right now in terms of overall GPM, the top 3, all on the side of Mouse. So we were talking about how very early on the lanes for Mouse were actually losing, but that's actually short-lived. There's not really anything else that can be said right now other than Mouse are still effectively utilizing the map a little bit better.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about when we say Mouse are great at playing good Dota from any position. Even if they were behind, they're doing fantastic. They forced the glyph already bottom. Wagamama is going to heal it up just for a moment, but this should be going down, and this is a great exchange for Mouse Sports. They're going to be very happy with this in terms of the situation. They haven't given the kill to Select since nighttime. It was just about 2 minutes ago. They've just completely backed away in terms of the top lane, and they've even brought Quaver here. And looks like they want to push a little bit more, but I can't expect them looking to put pressure down onto this tier 2. And another thing I wanted to mention about the lineups, it's like, what do you have to clear creep waves effectively when you're Q-Pad's team, when they turn up with Treants and everything else, as mid tower almost got denied by Jerax. But what did Q-Pad have in terms of defending towers? Because right now they're having a tough time.
Well, they need a Battle Fury. That is pretty much the only thing they are going to have, and unfortunately Sing not even in the ballpark of even thinking about a Battle Fury. I would say it's a dream for him, but a dream might actually be too close. And we're going to see an open wounds on Mini. Looks like Mouse wanted to try to go on it. Oh, here comes Fata from the back. He manages to catch Jerax, but there's actually not going to be any root on Tree and Protector for some reason. His ultimate is actually not picked up. Might have been able to get a save right there, but not going to be the case. The tower ends up going down. Quakefei gets the kill. Interesting skill build coming out from Wagga. I'm actually kind of just questioning why he doesn't have his ultimate. It seems to me like you would want it pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well. 4 points into Leech Seed, as well as 4 points into Living Armor. Just throwing down a level 1 Overgrowth. It does hold people for 3 seconds and could have been enough to be able to get Select in position to put some damage down with that level 4 Void. So Mousesport's looking really good. I guess we can have a look at the XP and also the gold graph just to see how this is going. You can see how even it was to how bad it's gone in the last few minutes. XP, though, is going to be looking even, but it's all about the gold here for Mousesports, and that's how they know to play. That's how they know how to play best, when they do have that advantage. Over by bottom room, Select's going to go on to Fatter, not going to be able to stop him from TPing out. And Black in the jungle, just farming away and taking additional gold and map presence away from Q-Pad. And Q-Pad looking like they want to take fights, and they're not finding what they want. Black's farming great, Quaver's farming great from Mousesports, and Q-Pad, they've got Sing farming bot lane. I think he went for a Yasha.
He finished up his
actually
treads.
Just finished his treads. Wow,
you can use the Boots of Elven Skin to finish treads, so yeah. It's just a last hit thing, just to be able to get that bonus damage, to be able to secure last hit's a bit easier. The worry that I have right now is like, that dive bottom, that should have got punished. There is no way Mouse should have been able to get away with doing that. The Treemer should have been there. They should have at least gotten 1 or 2 kills from that. But they basically get nothing. And Koikfa, he goes for a late Midas. He's still got 700 gold on top of that and his phase boot select. He's going to walk to the top lane, potentially looking for some kind of a kill in mid as well. Yeah, Jarek's getting dove on, and Fata is going to be able to pick him off. Select, he goes on top. And Koikfa just waiting to try to teleport back. He doesn't actually have a TP, but Select, of course, is not going to be able to stop him from getting away. So, Mouse, they just seem to have Q-Pad's number today. Even though they got killed a couple of times in that bottom lane and they managed to kill Fata, it just seems like their lanes are always better.
Yeah, they came out the better team of the exchange, and Sing's got to be very careful. He's picked up a Ring of Health and he's walking. Oh man, he just blinked straight into Paz. He's got a few seconds. They are going to use Raw, and he should actually be able to get away from this just for the help of that living armor. But still, a very scary situation for him. And his team, the only person getting something out of that exchange is Q-Pad Select farming up top. He's almost up to 1,000 gold, just going to hit 1,000 gold now. But Q-Pad defending towers and pushing towers, it's not their game plan right now. It's not their advantage. But they really did not need a tier 1 going down middle, or just because of they could utilize that. You know, Mousesports would have had to play around that tier 1, and then they could have actually played and got some ganks. Now they're going to be stretched to find any kills, and they're not keeping up on farm.
Mouse are playing this exactly how they should be, and like you mentioned during the draft, actually picking an AM against a team like Mouse, they know how to stop an AM from farming. It's not even necessarily about killing Sing per se. It's more about just revoking the feeling of safety. I mean, farming your woods is not what an AM wants to do. He's too scared to farm a lane that is pushed so far in favor of Q-Pad that I'm surprised Black is even still down there, but he just feels that safe because he knows that it's way too hard to actually make anything happen. And Mini with the Vendetta here. Koikfa?
That's going to be a kill.
Yeah, they should be able to kill him quite easily right here. He's walking in, though. No TPs coming out from Mouse at all. It looks like there is going to be one, but it's Fata, and it's a day late and $1 short, so they managed to find somebody.
That was an important kill as well. That's going to finish off Arcane Boots for Mini that he will need, and also send Select up to 1,500 gold total now. They're actually going to smoke up just as they back off and bottle, so I'm wondering what they have planned. Maybe they're going to try and put some more pressure back onto the jungle. Wagger's pretty comfortable just farming mid. He's heading towards his mech. Obviously an item that they're going to want into the team fights when you're up against a Keeper of the Light. But let's focus on Mousesports. They've got the advantage. Looks like they're going for a Roshan. I was going to ask what should they do, but you can answer now with the easy answer.
I think they're going to push. Alright, so it is, of course, going to be Roshan, and this is a little bit risky. There is an opportunity for Q-Pad to actually engage into this. Now Treant actually has his ultimate, which is going to be great. It's going to be able to hold people in place for at least a little while longer and stop the damage output that Maus actually have between their heroes. I don't actually think that Q-Pad, well, they do know about it now, as we just see one of the supports actually draw a little line into the Roshan pit. So they have some idea of what's actually going on, but of course Fata playing that Beastmaster, he just has a hawk over the perfect area, of course, inside the woods to see everything that's going to be coming their way, unless of course they smoke, but even if they did, there is a sentry inside of the pit. So it's a free Aegis here for Black, and Maus seem to look, they look so good today.
Yeah, they're playing it so smart, especially, you got to think the start was just like, oh dear, this is horrible, but they've just turned it around so nicely, and this tier 2 tower mid, Q-Pad have to defend this.
Oh, Mini actually decides to go in. He does get a 2-man Impale. He's going to try to burst down Paz here. He's going to get Telekinesis. Night Stalker Duke is going to go out by Paz. He gets healed back to full straight away. Aurora comes out on a Wagga. He does manage to get the root, but Paz, he steals the Overgrowth. Quakefa behind enemy lines with the Soul Catcher on. Eats the Mana Void from Sting. It's going to be a kill for him. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. Nature's Prophet, the only one actually going down on the side of Mouse. Black still going to be carrying up that Aegis, but it is so unbelievably hard to fight Mouse right now. The damage output of Q-Pad just isn't there without Sing having more farm.
Yeah. Fata in that team fight hits a Roar onto Wagga while he was doing the animation to cast his Overgrowth. Overgrowth's a great spell to actually have against a Lifestealer in many ways, because it will hold him in place even through Rage. As far as I know, that's
if
correct.
You cast it after the Rage, then it will hold him, yeah.
If you cast Rage after the Overgrowth, yeah, you'll be able to break it. So it is quite nice, and I do believe actually the Rubik played by Paz, did steal Overgrowth. So he has a level 1 Overgrowth, and it's a very low cooldown, 70 seconds, so he's going to have that for a little while. And they're going to utilize their advantage, put it to the best use, and take another tower. Well, sorry, not another tower, as they didn't take tier 2 mid, but just overall. And actually, Cupid are going to come up to defend this, and Jarex is smoked up. Going to get rid of the sentry here. They are playing well against Mini as well, for the most part. And if you look at the wards mid, what Mousesports have had for the majority of the game, it's very annoying. And Select getting picked off in the jungle.
Yeah, Koikfa, of course, and Fata going to be able to do that. Looks like Fata actually had a double damage, so getting that free kill. Level 2 Roar now after that. So this is a stage in the game where Mouse, they're going to be abusing the Beastmaster Hawk all the time. Honestly, one of the highest priorities in any of these games whenever you're playing high level is just making sure that you have vision. And Mouse, not only do they have 3 wards mid, but they have a Beastmaster Hawk. So you're never going to be able to surprise Mouse. They're always going to know where you are. They're always going to know what you're trying to plan basically before you can even do it. So the question is, how is a team like Cupid supposed to farm against that when they have an Anti-Mage?
It almost seems worthwhile just trying to buy a gem for dewarding.
Yeah.
It could be very useful. And we can see the fight here as Mini he gets a double impale, but it all turns around. And watch Fata just take Wagger out of being able to Overgrowth. There was a disruption there. Overgrowth does come in. It gets stolen by Pads on the Rubik. Sing will pick up a kill onto Quaver up top. But everybody's dead apart from him and Select later got picked off in the jungle. And as we go back into the game, Tier 1 tower top has been taken down, and Mousesports don't want to stop there.
Yeah, no reason to stop. They just feel unbelievably strong. Even just having the mech up is a huge deal. You can see how much damage the Nature's Wrath does to the lineup of Cupid right there. Mini sitting at actually below half health. Sing even took a reasonable chunk of damage himself. And trading a tower for a tower, they can't even do it. They can't even push fast enough. Of course, the Inner Beast are coming out from Fata with those Treants, adding to this push very, very significantly. And Aegis still going to be up for at least a couple more minutes. The Sentry's going to be dropped behind the push just to make sure they're going to be able to see this Nyx coming. And for Cupid, I don't know, man. This looks so unbelievably hard, and they managed to steal an Impale as well.
Yeah, and a tier 3 tower down at 18 minutes. Mousesports are just so far ahead.
Oh, Mini.
Mini's going to get picked up. He's going to explode after Black gets on him. There comes the Overgrowth. Select's trying to get a kill, but that's what we talked about, Fata. It's a great spell, Primal Roar, to shut someone down, and Sing really can't take this fight. He's just got a Perseverance. And if they get team wiped, Mousesports are looking to pick up the racks under 20 minutes, and it's going to be I feel it's too far to come back for Cupid Red Pandas from even this point on. Mousesports have just come in and said, we play really good Dota.
Yeah, their performance here.
Cupid have gone, oh yeah. Yeah, you do.
Mouse, pretty good team, actually. It wasn't really fair to judge when you were going up against EG because EG just brought it yesterday. If you guys had a chance to watch those games, it was unreal how good EG were actually playing. So no shame in either of these teams, of course, for losing to EG, but it's more like Mouse looked like EG did yesterday against Cupid. So does that mean that EG is just that much better than everyone else, or does it mean that Mouse just had a bad day?
Yeah, who knows? I guess we'll find out if Mouse could be making it into the playoffs. Vendetta used middle onto Black, going to achieve nothing. Talking about items, Black has picked up an armlet as well. Has, I believe, had a gem on the way to him. And Fata on that Beastmaster has so much gold, 2,700, and he's already got a mech complete. And once you get a mech and a Blink Dagger on your Beastmaster, it's huge. But he might even be going for Aghanims. We'll see. And it looks like Cupid are going to try and defend their tier 3 mid. Aegis is going to be reclaimed in just 30 seconds. Mini going to send out an Impel just to slow down the creep wave a little bit.
And Black just wants to hit this tower. It's a tier 3. There's Treants here. The Aegis, of course, going to be fading very, very soon. And Mouse, they're just going to go ahead and back up. They don't want to risk anything. They might just be actually waiting for another creep wave, and it looks like Paz actually threw out an urn onto Black. So just making sure everyone is in good shape. And whenever they want to force this, again, I don't feel the damage is there. Oh, they're going to roar Mini straight away. Free kill. Here it comes. The mech is actually going to be pop, but Wagga, he can't get his ultimate off in time. Fata, he's going to eat a nuke coming out from Select, but Wagga just gets absolutely disintegrated by the lineup of Mouse. That's 2 heroes down. The middle racks is going to be exposed here in just a second. The tier 3 actually going to get glyphed, but I don't think we're going to get a chance to see Cupid actually come back here in game number 2.
No, Mouse Sports deserved this win. They played it great. A little bit of a rocky start at the beginning, but in terms of, they seem to get the most out of every situation. It's only some of the team fights that can let them down, but Fata mid, getting that solo kill on Select, I don't even know how that occurred. Especially under the tier 1 tower. Select must have been really caught off guard, but they are going to have a last-ditch effort here after losing their melee racks. Mini, once again, going to drop. They can't even pick off Cinderin playing the Keeper of the Light as he's able to back away. He's just casually walking around with 3,700 gold Cinderin. Holla holla, get dollar.
Well, Mouse just residing currently in the base of Cupid, and they're going to be rotating towards that bottom lane, and this is going to be the last set of racks, and you have to feel for Cupid right now. They haven't called the GG just yet. It's really hard to tap out when so much is on the line, and you kind of have to just say, well, if they want to play it out to the end, then you might as well let him. Wagga, he's going to eat a telekinesis here, stuck outside of the base. Here comes the Beastmaster War. They're going to be able to disrupt him, though. Very nicely done by Jerax, buying him some time. Poss actually manages to steal Carapace as Wagga. He gets the Overgrowth off. Here comes the Mana Void, and Cupid Red Pandas seemingly trying to do something, but Sing has to blink, of course, forward to try to get that off, and buyback coming out on the side of Cupid as the fight actually continues. Black still taking some decent amount of damage, gets Carapace stunned by Mini, and Koikva comes in. He gets the last auto attack off that's necessary. The armor's going to be used on Sing, but I don't think it's going to be enough. This is going to be a triple kill for 2 heroes, actually. 2 triple kills, so that's going to be 6 heroes down, basically on the side of Cupid. Make that 7, and congratulations to Mouse for continuing their streak here to the road to TI3. Of course, this is the Western qualifiers, but the Cupid Red Pandas, they're out of here.
Yeah, their road to TI3 ends here, along with IC Cup, Empire, and also Absolute Legends. And I gotta say, out of all the teams that people would have predicted to go through from the qualifiers, the 4 teams that were on the tips of people's tongues to qualify have qualified. I think we've got a great 4 teams for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mouse Sports, joined with EG, DD Dota, and also Rock's Kiss. EG maybe looking the best. But all the other 3 teams could beat each other. But Mouse Sports looking just a very solid team and an amazing comeback after just how bad the start went for them.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Mouse maybe just had a bad day. You know, they were going up against a really, really amazing EG yesterday, especially Fear. He played a fantastic game, but maybe Mouse just weren't feeling it. Maybe they come in today, they feel a lot more confident. They're up against Cupid Red Pandas. Obviously, out of the 2, I know which team I wouldn't want to play. I mean, EG just seemed to be like up here, and everyone else was just a tier below. So Mouse, looking forward to seeing their performances in the rest of the qualifiers. But again, this is it for Cupid. They made one last stand at the beginning of the game. They got those 3 kills. It looks like they were trying to win the tri-lane, but I feel like this game was maybe a bit more of an outdrafting than game 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure Treant Protector was the choice they necessarily wanted.
Yeah.
It did actually work out pretty well, though, because they were up against an offensive tri-lane, and the Treant Protector can have a big impact. But not enough. Not enough for Cupid Red Pandas. So congratulations to Mouse Sports. They're going to be moving into our final 4. And they're going to be playing even tomorrow. So they're going to have some back-to-back games of Dota. And I believe their first game is versus DD. So
Yes.
Mouse Sports versus DD will be their first match, but the first match of the day tomorrow will be
EG Rock's Kiss
versus Rock's Kiss, as far as Bruno told me.
They're all going to be
He's in
amazing
charge.
games, by the way. Like, I'm looking forward to every single match. Like, no matter who goes down into the lower bracket in the playoffs, it's going to be like good game, good game, good game, like nonstop.
I think we can definitely say, like, from the 4 teams that didn't qualify, they all had something going for them that was good in terms of they were either quite good at fighting, or they have some good control, or you know, they had a few elements of what made them top Dota teams. But the teams that have qualified, fantastic drafting across all of them.
Yep.
Fantastic team fights, fantastic map control, just great decision making and item choice as well. You can go through all the stages of what makes you good, but all 4 teams now, those are the teams that should have qualified.
No, I agree completely. Just after seeing their performances, DD especially, I think they were the biggest. I don't want to say surprise, because a lot of the pro teams expected it, but they were the ones that everyone was like,
Surprise
are they
to the
really
community.
this good?
Yeah.
You know, are they really what everybody says they are? And they've proved themselves, of course, along with EG Rock's Kiss and now Mouse. So
yeah, I agree. DD would have surprised the community if they weren't getting the information that kind of circulates between pro teams.
Yeah.
And if you're a commentator, you get to talk to some teams about how it's going and even get to watch some scrims. But they're actually a top pick as well to go through. They're looking at second place right now, but EG, you just never know if they're really going to claim that first. There's always EG curse to be there. So Wepaz, Bruno, Mouse Sports qualifying through. What did you make of the matches?
It's totally deserving qualification. They were super strong both games. Game 1 and Game 2, they dominated the Cupid Red Pandas from the drafting, from the plays, and from even the team fight, which is arguably the Cupid Red Pandas' biggest strength.
Yeah.
It just wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, Mouse Sports in the second game, I felt like it was pure outdraft.
Mm-hmm.
Even like with the lanes that didn't really go as they wanted to from the start, like we mentioned. It's just that they played it so well and like really played it calmly through the whole game. I did actually like the Treant pick because it worked well. I mean, the idea of it was really nice, just to be able to have the overgrowth against the Rage and so on and so forth, and especially since they ran an aggressive trial, and it's always nice to have that armor, but didn't work out in the end, and Mousesports just showing why they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. There was a moment at the beginning in the mid lane where Select had everything going on for him.
Mm-hmm.
The first wave, I think he was 4
and 3 or
4
so.
and 3 or something in terms of last hit denies. Well, of course, the camera was focused on the bottom lane because it was more interesting when we were discussing. He was having a great first 2 or 3 waves. Unfortunately, that solo kill from Farah just
Was a bit weird.
set him back a lot.
Probably had been harassed quite a lot. I'm guessing he was harassed quite a lot, and then he just got roared and axed, so he didn't even react to using the invis. Maybe he wanted to save the invis for the first night, didn't want to go back to base, so I'm guessing it was something along those lines, but just great awareness by Fata to just take that opportunity, get a kill, because the invis wasn't really used in a proper way either, because they never managed to get the kill in bottom.
Mm-hmm. And we saw in both games, actually both games today and also both games, 3 games yesterday against IC Cup, Black always finding his farm.
Yeah.
Even today, where he went for an aggressive tri-lane, he was able to out CS Sing Sing, and that arguably puts him as one of the best farming players in the Western scene at least. Is it worth it for you to actually try and stop Black for farming, or you should just exploit the other lanes instead and try to get 2v1 advantage in terms of winning the other lanes?
I feel that you should just try and exploit mid, especially. Just stop Farah from being such a big, or stop him from having such a big impact in these games. Just like lock him down and maybe get some ganks on the supports, and then you just 5-man, because it doesn't matter really. I mean, of course it matters how much farm Black has, but if you start 5-manning from 25, 30 minutes on, Black, of course, is going to have farm, but he's not going to have enough to 1v5 you. And if you lock down 1 or more heroes on their side, they're not going to be able to teamfight you properly. So I'd say just try and exploit mid as well as the offlane, kill Koikva and Farah, and then you lose 2 of the core heroes. Or they lose 2 of the core heroes.
Guys, do you agree over there?
I'm more like thinking like you get first blood bottom plus a second kill on Black, I believe it was, while you give up 1. Then you get a kill on Fata mid, and then you lose all presence on the lane.
Well, the thing is, we have to keep in mind, the Lifestealer tri-lane, Lifestealer just craps NIM in lane. Like, you can't really ever trade with him effectively, so the reason the farm was going in his favor is even with the kills didn't go to Sing. So it's not like he started off with like treads or anything crazy like that to be able to establish some lane dominance. It was more like the supports, Jerax got every single kill, which isn't horrible, but it's not necessarily the best situation either. So instead of being able to take a lane advantage by killing the hero, the supports left Sing alone after he didn't get any of the kills. So then it was like, well, Sing's not going to be farming in a 3v1, and Mousesports didn't do any rotation of their own. So when those supports left, they went mid. Sure, they got a kill, but it allows Black to completely get back into the lane.
I felt like it would have been good if they focused on just taking out those supports on the lane with Black, because in many ways, if you've got a good amount of gold on your supports and you've been in these kills and you've got better experience than the other supports, if you just get some sentries down, make sure they don't have any vision, you could walk in behind them. You're like, okay, there is going to be a Nature's Prophet. But as long as we can catch a support and Sing's okay blinking in on him to get a kill, we're kill it. And then we've got Treant Protector with armor. Sure, you're going to have the Nature's Prophet TP in, it will be a 4v3 fight, but you at least got armor, so you guarantee a quick kill. So really, it's a 3v3 because one disruption, one stun, Sing blinks on them, hits them twice, they're dead, and you haven't got phase boots at that time in terms of after the first few skirmishes. So, and then you look at the mid, you're like, well, level 6, who's better at roaming?
Yeah.
In terms of, oh, it's nighttime. This guy can join the fight.
He can just
pretty
get everywhere
damn.
faster.
Yeah, he can get it. So I felt that like QPad should have just focused constantly on that tri-lane. Just been like, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Make it as painful as possible until they have to rotate or make something else happen. Because even if the Treant Protector didn't come down but threw up a living armor correctly, that's enough, surely. Because Sing had a poor man's shield. So they got the kill mid, Black got into the game. Quite surprising to see how the kills happen for QPad and then the game happens for Mouse Sports. And I did worry about their lineup. I was like, how are they going to defend towers? I was like, what are they spamming to kill towers? Level 1 Shadow Poison? Impel? You're up against a Beastmaster.
The thing is, that problem would have been solved if the supports just stayed in the lane, because Sing would have been able to get farm, and they would have shut down Black at least a little bit. Maybe, who knows, they would have rotated Black just to the jungle or something like that, and those supports would have left. And those supports don't really roam, you know? They would have just been playing passive, which is great. That's what QPad wanted them to do. They wanted them, hey, stay away from us for like 25 minutes. We're cool with that. Then we get a Battle Fury up in the AM, we can start split pushing, and then we can actually make a stand in the game. But the lanes, Fata getting the solo kill, totally unexpected. That should pretty much never happen, like, ever. And then the bottom lane, the rotation, the support's moving. It seems like it was pretty cool on paper. We're like, oh yeah, you know, 3 kills in a row.
Yeah,
that's great. And then you're like, oh,
Wait
we kind of forgot we have to stop them from stopping our anti-mage.
Yeah, and then you come back to the lane and you're like, Black is seemingly quite happy. He's higher on farm, and he, as you mentioned in the mid game, he does scale a lot better even earlier on as well in terms of feast and open wounds, and also rage. You only need like, one point in it, it was great, but it's like the more you get, the more damage you're obviously going to do. Attack speed increase as well as damage.
Get on it, Bruno.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's maybe like, you know, QPad are like used to doing all these rotations. Thought it was a good idea, but should have focused on just shutting down that lane.
I feel like that in the most basic sense is just losing sight of your game plan. Like when you make that decision, you're thinking to yourself, you see QPad's lineup, the Night Stalker is basically to make space. The entire team is to make space for Sing. Because if Sing doesn't get his core items, AM can't fight. That's the downfall of the hero, is you need items on him to fight. The great part about him is that if you get there unobstructed, you're golden, because you have this hero who is so hard to commit to. It's very similar to when Black played in Game 1 on that Weaver. They had to bring 4 or 5 heroes to kill him. That would have been Sing in Game 2 if they just gave him the opportunity to get there. But the supports, they moved around maybe a bit prematurely, and then even kills didn't really help them.
Yeah, and they also rotated top to tier 1 tower top as well, and just left tier 1 tower bottom available to kill.
Yeah.
Gold advantage, push advantage in favor of Mouse Sports by then. No room for Sing. Yeah, they should have kept that lane in the jungle safe. So, interesting talk, Andy. Thanks for having the talk with me. That was really nice talk.
It was a good talk.
Good talk. Good
it was
talk.
good for me.
Yeah. Hey, Bruno.
Hey, James, how are you? Hey, Wepas.
Hi.
How's your headache? You feeling better?
It's better now, yeah.
I'm glad to hear. So I guess we are wrapping up, but not yet, because we're going to. Do you have the brackets for tomorrow, Trans?
Do we get an interview?
Okay,
with
yeah,
Mouse
we have an
Sports?
interview, but I was going like, we're going to take a small break so that I can actually talk to the person in the interview, and 2 minutes from now we're back. And we have Fata from Team Mouse Sports ready to talk a little bit with us, and so that he can tell us how awesome his team is.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, so then we're going to a small break, and we'll be back in just 2 or 3 minutes with Fata.